And we're going to talk about prices because I know why it's really expensive. Now we have the ingredient list of this product. It's functional, innovative, and potentially still evolving. Potentially still evolving, not something you need to consistently sanitize. And here is the question. Consistently sanitize.
And we're also going to get really clear on the language as well. Some of the language was definitely confusing and didn't accurately represent what we were trying to do.
Well, I really love this part. I can applaud for that.
Put my word salad down.
In reality, I am a hyena that is preying on their videos, on their products. Let's say it. And you just have to shut up. We have to shut up. I believe we should do that. But will we? I don't really think so. Welcome to another episode of the podcast That's Fine With Me. Today we're going to be talking about lip labs or lipstick lesbians once again, because we have 3 additional videos to discuss. And one of the videos, in my opinion, is a State of the Union 2.0. Then we have some FAQ-esque questions, or like some questions and answers from their official website that are a little bit questionable, or they're phrased in a weird way, and we're going to talk about that. And then in addition to all of this, I really want to talk about some comments that are coming from their own page so you can see the difference. There's so much to talk about. That is the main reason why we're getting started. The first video that I really want to play is from their official TikTok page, Lipstick Lesbians. And there's a couple of things that we are going to discuss. I'm going to give you small pauses. I don't want to concentrate on this video in particular, only in some part, but let's get started.
There's been crickets on the Leaked Labs account. A lot of you are probably wondering why. Christina and I and the team intentionally decided to pause. First launch sparked so much conversation. We wanted to intentionally pause and assess the customer feedback.
Okay, I feel like this video is coming on their Lipstick Lesbian official page, not on the Lip Labs page, because they have a little bit different engagement and they have a little bit different audience, or maybe the same audience, but it's bigger and broader. And that is the main reason why they're addressing this on their official kind of like big, huge channel, which is good. And I feel like it's the way to do business, but I think that they should have done the same on their official Lip Labs page, because they actually did not talk about a very important part that is going to be right at the end of this video. But it's kind of like a logical way to show a video that has a broader audience.
They're listening, and we have been making those changes the last few weeks behind the scenes already. We took this very seriously.
Well, the fact that they took it very seriously, I don't really think they took it when they did a State of the Union video. And I know we talked about that a million times, but what I really mean by saying this is the fact that only because of a backlash and a lot of feedback that they actually got, and people complaining that you promised to get our feedback, you didn't do that. You actually went to a Cosmicon, or like some Cosmicon, if I'm mistaken, some conference, and you kind of like left us. They actually did not pay attention, and now they're saying that they take it seriously. Well, they didn't, because the launch was more than a month ago.
What's next? The show must go on. So will our docuseries. So will our product development. Something that might have been missed in our silence the last few weeks is actually how excited we are to bring you the next leak. We did push out the launch, and we are adjusting some of the elements of that launch, and you're going to see those changes roll out in the next few weeks.
What I really think that they actually on podcast, Los Angeles podcast, mentioned Leak Labs or Flexi powders. They had some flaws, or at least they knew where they should work a little bit harder on the product. And I believe they probably wanted to come out with Flexi powder 2.0 to say that we've updated some of the problems and now you can purchase it one more time. This is a speculation. I'm not saying this is true. But right now, I believe when they realize that people just literally hate this product, they stopped, and they probably have to swap the product into something different.
Always been a plan for me to product develop within this business. It just didn't happen with the first leak. That was what we call a discovery. To be clearer, there will be 2 types of leaks that happen in the leaked business model. Products that are discovered, like Amplify Flexi, and products that are developed, created, like our next leak.
And this is another really great point. They did not specify that it's going to be a custom-made formula, because I remember when they talked about Leak Labs and specifically these products, they called them orphans. They said that they would pick some products that are not interesting, or maybe too expensive for some other products, or just not even products for some other brands. And now they're saying that certain products are like custom-made formulas, but that's just a small interesting detail. I don't know if you know about that, but custom-made formulas are way more expensive than pre-made formulas. And as Alexis is saying in this video, Flexi powder was not a custom-made formula, but it was extremely expensive. And we're going to talk about prices because I know why it's really expensive. Now we have the ingredient list of this product and I actually understand what is the cost, but still it was extremely expensive. So let's get back to the video.
We created a docuseries so we could be more transparent and bring you into the leaks. And we want to do that. We needed this reset before we could do so. This is my favorite part that I'm most excited for, allowing our community to experience the leaks even before they necessarily hit the market. So,
well, this is crazy. In the State of the Union, they talked about inviting the brands in their business model and, kind of like linking their businesses together. And now they are saying that potentially people can get early access to these products. So I believe if it's talking about like early products before they even hit the market, I believe they actually work with other brands. And these brands, they're paying, in my opinion, in a way, some commission, and they're not given any data. I don't really think they're given any data, but what they're given is information if this product sparks interest and they actually develop this more to produce and manufacture in the future. And for some small commission, they can give them some small insight of which product is successful and which product is not successful. And they don't have to waste their time and money to release this product. This is crazy, honestly, because I'm going to talk about that in a sec, why it's crazy. But let's carry on with the listening part.
who is this beauty community that we're so excited to serve that we keep talking about? You care about texture, sensation, and being the first to experience beauty early. That's exactly who we built this for. The last thing we would want is for anyone not to have a good experience with our first leak. So we completely understand this was a very conceptual format. If you did not have a good experience with Amplify Flexi Powder and you want a refund, you can do so on our website or you can reach out at hello@leaklabs.com.
It is very interesting, guys, because I got a comment, and let me read this comment real quick. You can get your money back. Leak Labs is blocked as fraudulent. So call payment company and they will refund you. Everyone I know that bought this has been refunded so far. I did not get information if Leak Labs was blocked. I didn't really get this information, but it actually got 9 likes. And I answered real quick, like, really, such a turning point. I should definitely check this out. Thanks for the information and really thank you. Because I got this comment first and only then I actually saw the video that they were officially offering a refund. They were officially offering a refund. That is the main reason why I feel like maybe that is true. Partially it's true, at least the fact that they're getting money back. About fraudulent and that they were blocked, I didn't really get any information. That is the main reason why I can't confirm it. When people are asking for a refund, they felt like it was not a good product to invest their money in. And I don't want to speculate and think what people had in mind when they placed their order to refund this money, but what I can tell, it's definitely not the product as they promised to get. So as they always say, this is a finished product, it is fully developed, but unfortunately, the problem here, it's not a fully developed product. If it has flaws, and they know about the flaws because before it hit the market, they already were reformulating and making some changes, it tells me that they knew about the flaws, but they still released the product on the market. And now let me read very important answer from their official website, Leak Labs website. What's the difference between a leak and a regular product? And we're going back to the point in the middle of their video. A leak is early access to beauty innovation. It's functional, innovative, and potentially still evolving. Potentially still evolving. That is crazy. That is the main idea. They kind of mentioned this on their official website that they potentially can sell you some product that is not finished in the sense, is there a problem in any flaws? Is there any problem in the product? Should it be more developed or just probably like finished in a way, in a sense? Yes, they do have all the, let's say, preservative systems, but at the same time, we do know that there were certain particular problems with sanitization, and there was a problem with the ribbon. That is the main reason why they potentially could have known about that. And they mentioned this on podcast that, well, we're kind of like reformulating and doing some other stuff. But let me read the second part. When you purchase one, you're participating in its development. We kind of get the fact that we're participating in development, but what I feel, they launched Flexi Powder. And when they talked about reformulating, this product, taking care of the flaws, I believe that what they had in mind is the fact that they wanted to reformulate it and sell it once again. And it's very interesting because when they said they have to make some quick changes and probably do a little bit different type of launch. So right now, that is the main reason why they stopped with the second leak and then they doing some behind the scenes, let's say, changes. They didn't expect people to give them such a feedback. They, in my opinion, thought that people are going to buy the product. They're going to give their feedback, complain about certain things, and then they're going to reformulate it, as they mentioned this on the podcast, before even there was a launch day, and then sell one more time people the same product with updates. And I'm like, do you really think that people are so dumb? Literally, guys, let me tell you this. When any influencer is taking a brand deal or collaborating with a brand, they're working on the formula, they're working on the packaging, PR strategy, and whatever. And every single time you are collaborating with someone, you or a manager or like someone manufacturer is sending you the product, you're testing the product and you're saying, I don't like the formula. I don't like it's not creamy enough. It's not, I don't know, pigmented enough and whatsoever. So they're coming back and forth between formulas and saying you have to work more on this formulation, something like this. Maybe they do have some pre-made formulas for them, but if it comes to some pigmentation, they maybe can ask for a little bit different pigment or a little bit different color whatsoever. So what we see right here, for every single upgrade or extra development, you're going to pay extra money. That's what I'm reading from this statement. It is potentially still evolving. And then when I purchase one, I participate in its development. So I participate in the development of the existing product as far as I can tell from this text. And this is crazy. This is crazy because they thought, well, as they presented that these products, they were worth sharing. And we all thought that these products were made and it was like a done deal. And right now what we're seeing here is that for extra update, you would probably have to pay. I'm speculating right now. I believe they realize that it's not going to work this way. People are not going to pay them for the exact same launch over and over again while they're perfecting the flaws. That is the main reason why I feel like now they have a little bit different product in mind, but they had to push it because it's probably something that should have been leaked in the future. Okay. But the fact that they're giving the refunds, I got approved from the comment, and at the same time, we have a confirmation from them, and I have some confirmation from their website about their return policy. Let me tell you guys about the testing. So as with any other cosmetic product that follows the proper safety and protocol testing, all of our launches have preservative system and are tested, compliant, and safe to use. Using it wet doesn't create bacteria growth because it dries down and remains protected by the preservative system. As with any beauty product, we recommend applying with clean hands. It's designed to be easy and enjoyable to use, not something you need to consistently sanitize. And here is the question. Consistently sanitize. You can't sanitize it at all. Not consistently, not ever, because it melts down under the alcohol influence. So they're stating that it can be sanitized, but most of the time people saying that you can't, and we talked about that because you just cannot sanitize it. It's going to melt down. Interesting, yeah? Okay, there's more information to that. Let's watch video number 2 that is coming from Leaked Labs official website.
Did not do a great job of explaining to you what Leaked Labs is. Let's take you back to the beginning. It was June 2024.
Hey, baby, what are we doing?
We just had our first meeting for Leaked.
There I am. I'm really excited. I was also just crying a little bit. Initially, we wanted to bring you closer than ever to the manufacturers through a subscription box.
Every single product that's going to be in that first box, or some of, are inside this bag.
Inside the subscription box, we thought it would be amazing to add all these really conceptual products. The idea was to be more public about how we product develop. The more we thought about the subscription box, the more we thought about the model, we thought it would be really overwhelming to get a box of all this stuff. And that's when we decided to pivot.
So overwhelming, what do you mean by overwhelming? Knowing every single girl, every single boy who has any passion to makeup, when you get more products to play around with, you're excited. It's not overwhelming. It's a pleasure to work with new products. And for example, if you have to pay, again, like $30 for 5 different products, it's more or less justified. But I feel like they had to calculate every single product and realize that it's just not profitable enough, or it's going to be super expensive. Again, I'm speculating here. I feel like maybe it's either extremely expensive and people are not going to be paying like over $100 for this product or this box subscription. But at the same time, they're talking about subscription. So I feel like they, and someone actually wrote in the comments that they should have done this as a subscription. So maybe if they ask for the subscription $30 or $40 a month, they realize that people are not going to be willing to pay for this subscription every single month, and it's pretty expensive. That is the main reason why I believe they pivoted into the product development where they're actually launching one single product each time, and then they don't really spend a lot of money on the packaging or PR, and that's going to be it. Most of the time, we talked about that when I did my podcast about Patreon. People, they do get subscriptions, but in a month or so, they are unsubscribing. And that is the main reason why it creates a potential risk that people got a subscription and maybe are not satisfied with each of this product. They're just gonna make sure that they're not subscribed anymore. And this way, they're probably gonna lose their people. And people that want to get a subscription would not know that it is available right now to get the subscription. I do really think that this is what really happened. It was too risky and probably too expensive to do this way, to work on this model this way.
And like all entrepreneurs, welcome to Pivot. Because we were not clear on what the appetite would be, the drop model would allow us to do early innovations, handcrafted, smaller batches. Fast forward to March 6, 2026, we dropped the really conceptual product. There's two ways leaks can happen. Discover, create. They are discovered from a manufacturer, and they're really conceptual and exciting and different, or they're created by me. And this was true on March 6th, and it's more true today because we're pivoting a little bit more towards what you all want because we heard you. As of our next launch, you will see a creation. Essentially, leaked is about leaking innovation, which really just means early access to beauty products. This is going to be a next generation of a formula you may be familiar with, or it's going to be something you've never seen before. Each product represents a different level of innovation. We'll be extremely transparent of whether or not it was a discovery or a creation. We release it early in limited quantities. If the product is loved, it stays. We keep manufacturing. If it isn't, it gets archived like Flexi.
So they said that we are going to be extremely transparent if it's a creation or some product that they purchased or picked up. My question, they never talked about custom-made formulas. What was really bad about saying that you're probably potentially going to be doing your own formulas? What is so bad about that? Because it probably didn't get into the market strategy or PR strategy where they promised that these products are already innovative, but it was too expensive for different brands to pick them up. And that is the main reason why they picked them up. And I don't really understand why they're saying that they are going to be or they will be transparent about that. You should have been transparent about that from the very first leak. And that is the main reason why people, they have so many questions, but these questions, they are not answered still. They're only promising, but they're not given, not now. Maybe it's because they actually got all this feedback and now they're working toward a little bit different kind of like marketing strategy. And let me show you their new marketing strategy because this is unique and interesting. They uploaded this video only one day ago, but by the time I'm going to be releasing this podcast, it's going to be about like 3 or 4 days on their official TikTok page.
Makes me realize how fucking fabulous I am. I have fucking made it.
Let me just put my word salad down. Hold on, I dropped one.
I dropped the word.
It's no surprise that the lipstick lesbians have been under attack recently.
Now we're going to the part that I told you about right at the beginning of this podcast. State of the Union 2.0, in my opinion. Now we're getting back to this attack mode. Word salad. For those who didn't really see my podcast that I created a couple of weeks ago, where they were sitting at the airport with a messy bun and whatever, I said that it's not okay to attack anyone with their appearance or sexual orientation or anything like this. But let me remind you one more time, at the State of the Union, they were talking about their sexuality and that you may be willing to try a woman and you're going to be excited to be with a woman. So they brought this sexual orientation tension to themselves. I mean, no one actually talked about that. They talked about that themselves first. What I mentioned by saying messy bun and whatever, this is just like a script from a book, a textbook of an influencer. Messy bun, no makeup, crying. This is just like the way A lot of influencers doing this nowadays, and people got tired of this model. Another thing that they talked about in this video, they mentioned that they had vague language and it was not clear. So people didn't really understand what they were talking about.
And we're also going to get really clear on the language as well. Some of the language was definitely confusing and didn't accurately represent what we were trying to do.
Well, I really love this part. I can applaud for that. And here we have a feedback and we have answer to this word salad. So at first, well, they were sitting at the airport crying, emotionally expressing their feelings that we're sorry, that it was not clear what we meant, whatever. In a couple of weeks, they're coming out with a video where, again, it feels like they're screaming at you or like aggressive. I don't really know. And they're giving like, my word salad. Okay. So at first you're crying and apologizing for vague language. And now you're attacking people for the word salad. Interesting. Okay, let's keep on watching.
We've been made fun of for the way that we look, the way that we talk, the way that we think. Everything about us has been ripped apart. To Bethany's point, I have ADHD. It's actually a superpower for me.
What happens when you touch a product?
My brain is processing all the different sensations at the same time when I'm experiencing a product. And then I give all the things that are in my brain to all of you. And most importantly, especially for the young people watching, beauty queen or not, we're here to tell you that never.
They're going into this emotional, their fan base, which is really cool. I mean, I understand that when you have a fan base, loyal people, it's great. No one is telling you that it's not cool or whatever. What they're doing, they're pressing right now on people and their emotions. Like, we've been attacked, we're hitting back. Okay. And we hear you, my queens, in the comments who try to protect me. This is given manipulation that please give us more comments and protect us and emotionally try to shield our comment section. It's given this impression. Second thing that I actually see, when she was talking about the product, it's just like she's super excited and she can't control her words when she's experienced the product. And this is her explanation of a word salad. This is not the first time you're experiencing the product. You developed this product, and this is definitely not the first time for you to experience this product. And it's really interesting because when you're experiencing product, when you go to Sephora and this is someone else's product, you have pretty much clear language. There's nothing, people really love you for your opinion and how you clearly can explain ingredient list, the packaging, the prices, you can break this down. And here, when it comes to your own product, you're like, I'm super excited, I'm emotional, and that is the main reason why it's the word salad. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because you have a PR company. If you don't know how to explain what is this product about, if you don't know what is going to be published, or you don't really know how to do that, then why the hell are you still filming this video? You have a PR team, you have people, you have chemists. They should give you a clear answers to these questions. This is not you first time trying on this product. This is the product that you've been testing over and over again. These products you launched. This is not something that is like the first impression. This is absolutely different. And that really pissed me off, guys. It's just like, again, reversing and talking about poor me, poor you, snarky comments of her wife on the background, like, yeah, word salad. I mean, I don't understand. This is, again, a video where they try to make you feel like you're the problem and that people like TikTokers or maybe like commentary videos, they're tearing them apart. I do believe that there are some crazy people, they give their like opinion on their, I don't know, like appearance, whatever. I don't really know what they're talking about. Like, we are not talking about their appearance. We're not talking about like some skills or whatever. We're talking about vague language. We're talking about flaws in the product system. We're talking about PR strategy. We're talking about the aggression and reversing the emotional guilt to people that have opinion and they're not agreeing to the fact. And that is very interesting, guys. So a lot of big influencers, they supported the lipstick lesbians, and which is cool. That's great. But as Jen Love mentioned on her video, that a lot of the times when you work as an influencer, you have to be very loyal to your co-workers, other influencers, because if you are not supporting them right now, then you cannot get any support from them in the future if anything happens to your channel. And I totally get it. But at the same time, it means in reality, we should stay quiet in order to get some social ladder in the future. And again, it means you guys have to be quiet and keep on purchasing their products because they said so. And let's say I am this influencer, as they're talking about, like someone who is like a hyena that is hyping on this video. Okay, let's say it. Okay, let me admit this. I am a hyena that is preying on their videos, on their products. Let's say it. The fact that I didn't attack their appearance and whatsoever, it doesn't really matter. And I try to keep it as professional as possible. Okay, let me see that I am that hyena. Then tell me one thing. Why are there so many people out there, you guys, comments from just like regular people, not influencers, just regular people that are not satisfied with their products? Are they hyping on their flaws? Are they hyping on some of their problems? What is the answer to that? I mean, I understand when some influencer is trying to get revenge or trying to get some attention from the public, and that is the main reason why they're like, posting all of this information. But when I see regular people that are not satisfied with their products, and this is the answer, I'm sorry, but like, do we actually need to add more? And I'm just going to give you some comments. Of course, they have people that are protecting them and then they're talking about them in a positive way, which is pretty much obvious, like loyal fan base. But let's real quick read some of these comments. You guys just need to come off as genuine. Every video has felt like an ad and a scripted video. We trusted you and your opinion, which is why we followed you in the first place. A simple, hey, we heard the critiques on our first launch and we're taking that into account. And they responded, this is who we are and has been who we are. We made a video about providing refunds to everyone who was unhappy with their experience and publicly stated we are evolving based on feedback and we are committed to always evolving from constructive criticism, but not hate. Thank you for a comment. Who's talking about hate? I mean, we totally understand. When they were sitting in the airport, they were talking about hate. And we all agreed on the fact that people shouldn't hate. But at the same time, here's the problem. There's not always only hate. There's a valid criticism. And what they're doing right now is, again, an emotional reverse. Like, poor we need your protection. And then I certainly don't feel small. I just don't trust the two of you. With that being said, I would never attack you guys personally. It's just a trust issue for me, which is sad because I love watching you guys. We're looking forward to earning your trust back. I think the problem is that once people lose their trust and consequently their respect, they only see negatives. Great point. The comments with the criticism, they're getting more likes than their response. And then, yeah, some of it has been definitely gone too far. However, you really do need to address what is going on. Seems like a train wreck of a launch and better to own it and move on than ignore it. Good luck with your second one. You're right, it was a mess. We're behind the scenes changing things moving forward. We offered refunds publicly and to the entire community for whoever wanted one. We look forward to earning trust back. Thank you for the well wishes. So now they're talking that they want the trust back because they don't really trust them anymore. And then, brah, stop yelling at us. And then, I'm pissed. I'm this early. I just know this comment section is going to be wild. Oh, brother, please hire a new PR company and whatever. You can read all these comments. Now, what I really want to read is your comments, guys, that left this in my previous podcast. And real quick, we're going to talk about your comments. And then I'm going to show you the ingredient list and show you what was so expensive about their products. Greed Labs. I said, yep. I was not a customer for this product because I wasn't interested in those launch, but they lost me for future launches because of their lack of transparency and their tone. Transparency. This is a great word, guys, because transparency was lacking and they're only promising that in the future we'll be transparent on what we're going to be doing, like a custom-made formula or a developed formula, whatever, like documentary. Just words. For now, it's just words, no actions. I watched that State of the Union and felt like I was in trouble in third grade again. Unacceptable. That is so true. That is so on point. And I just left a smiling emoji and said, great comparison. Where was the PR team? And the answer, I think they are the PR team, unfortunately, and said, I guess you're right. Gamifying is such a red flag term. So this is my podcast about their, let's say, airport, crying, whatever. And gamifying is a weird word. It's a weird word. And I answered, so is it just a game or is it a real deal? Questionable term in this context. Exactly, I'm talking to myself. I feel like gamifying is a weird choice of words when we're talking about the platforms, when we're talking about your job. Like, is it a game to you or is it a real job? I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I think I clicked on this by mistake, but I did want to say your lipstick looks amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Just such a perfect mistake. That was really nice. That was really cool, guys. There are brands that influencers made honestly. Look at KJH brand. Seal Du Sophie Pavet. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know most of these brands. Lipstick lesbians took advantage and took all money to go to Korea and Italy. Remember, if L'Oreal and Estee Lauder rejected it, there is a reason. Well, I think that maybe L'Oreal and Estee Lauder didn't even have a chance to purchase this. Not even didn't have a chance, but they probably didn't even consider to purchase this formulas because they have their own manufacturers and they are doing most of the time custom made formulas. But I guess maybe sometimes they can tap in and buy some formulas that exist on the market to save a coin. But I said, I believe every other brand rejected these formulas. The reason, it's not solving an issue and expensive. Can you imagine if someone else would have launched this? They would have been roasted by everyone. And of course, someone answered to our small dialogue that I've never heard of any of these brands. Lol, and I'm said like me too, only L'Oreal and Estee Lauder, but the point is not in names, I believe, but in lipstick lesbians approach. And then we got a comment from Dorels. I hope I did not mispronounce. Guys, I don't really read most of your names, not because I'm just like disrespecting, but unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce your names most of the time, and I don't really want you to feel disrespectful, and I don't want you to feel like I am disrespectful. And that is the main reason why I'm going to just like show everyone your comment. But unfortunately, most of the time I'm not reading the names because I'm afraid that I might mispronounce your name, which happened. I'm not blaming anyone. This is my fault that I can't do this. I don't really want to come as a disrespectful person. Thank you for reading my comment. I thought maybe I went overboard. So I did want someone else's opinion on my speculative opinion, lol. Because they have not answered any questions, is just all we can do is speculate. Exactly. This is just like I use this word so many times in today's podcast. I can't believe you got through reading my comment because I'm horrible when it comes to writing. There was a problem, so many typos and run-on sentences. I apologize for that. The day I was just in the feeling and poured on my phone keyboard from your new subscriber before you read my comment. I swear. I totally get you. Like, typos is a huge problem for me all the time, like every time. Honestly, we're all far from perfect, especially when it comes to some comments, but overall, it was great. Thank you for your perspective and for taking the time to share the key points of its campaign and your opinion. It's totally valid that you found time to share your true feelings. You put some points together way better than I did, and it really deserves a shout out. And I still think to the date that it was great comment. If you really want to watch my previous podcast, I read through the entire comment of Dora's, and that was so good. I mean, really, really good. This is what I was talking about, and no shame, guys, no shame. I'm just like it's my fault. But I never thought my username could be this French. It's actually city, pronounced like city. So you got that right. And double K. I used to like lipstick lesbians because they reminded me of a Stephanie Nicole here on YouTube until their natural deodorant ad post. That ad turned me off from them. They have claimed they aren't in the sea of sameness, and Lick Labs isn't an influencer brand that, but even the way they're moving up the social ladder, it's given standard influencer practice 101. Same influence and buy this and buy that shit. But lipstick lesbians managed to be a bit different because they decorated their content with words that rarely used by other beauty influencers. They should just stop doing this. I'm not like the other influencers. Stick. Love your videos. And I said, I hope you take my French pronunciation as a compliment, which I actually mean. Because like I really like France. I honestly do. I love France. I wish I could speak French maybe one day, but I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. Yep, that's definitely a problem with the influencer culture. It seems they don't know when to say no. I really like Carly Bible and Nikki tutorials, which is actually true, because they don't promote makeup products very often, but it must be tough sometimes to do influencer job without sponsorships. Unfortunately, people tend to get caught up in ads really fast. You just have to know when to say no, and you generally want to recommend the product. P.S. I really love your eye makeup. That's beautiful. That is actually really beautiful. I really love this makeup look. Sorry for the late reply. Oh no, I don't take offense with your mispronunciation at all. I just found it funny. A lot from here, and thank you so much for your sweet words. And it's an old eye that I did years ago, but I love purple eyeshadow so much that I used this one as my profile picture. This is really beautiful, guys. Really like watching some of your profile photos. I don't know, stalking mode, crazy maybe, but like some when I see some makeup, I just can't turn away. I just like watch. So that's pretty much it for like some comments, and thank you guys. I mean, this is super valid. It's okay to share your experience. The fact that they're like calling out people for not liking certain things and calling this hateful. Yes, I do believe in hate, and I do believe that people, they're crossing the line. But at the same time, I do believe that sometimes they're crossing the line and they're getting into aggressive mode. So let's carry on with the video.
Never, ever is it okay to sit back and let somebody rip you apart for who you are. Every single time, it's about them. It's about them feeling small and projecting all their pain onto you. Because if they push it onto you, they think they don't have to feel it. This is what's preventing probably half of you that are watching this from taking a step into your dreams. This is exactly what I care about the most. You just need to keep existing and being you. We are proud to have our channel publicly be the Lipstick Lesbians, just as we are proud of the word salad. That is the way that I think. That is the embodiment of who I am, because it is literally how my brain processes information. The beauty queens that are here, that are defending in the comments, we see you. And thank you. Thank you. And we're going to keep going strong like Bethany told us to. We fucking made it.
I guess you heard them right. That they don't really care about your comments, that they're proud of the word salad, though they were crying in the previous video. They're sorry for using a vague language, and they're going to carry on with the word salad, as they mentioned. They're asking for their fans to go and defend them in the comment section. And this is, in my opinion, and again, I might be speculating, but provocative post and ask to make your audience, core audience, go against people that are leaving some, as they call them, hate comments. I don't really think that sometimes people were leaving like hate comments, yes, but you can actually delete that. If I'm mistaken, every single platform, such as YouTube or like TikTok, they have a tool where you can make sure that all the hate comments, they're going to be deleted. That is the main reason why I don't really understand. So if there's something like super hateful, then you can make them disappear and ban these people. But what do they think to be a hateful comment? Because as we realized, people that are criticizing them, they're like small people. And as we realized, when they were crying, they were saying that word salad is not okay. And now they're saying that they're proud of their word salad and they're going to keep on doing that. I feel like it's given the impression that they got, in a way, some boost from other creators and big influencers. So if some other influencers are protecting them or saying like, yeah, girl, just get them, then it makes okay to be a little bit more aggressive in their videos. And it's given some boost of energy and probably some emotional protection. But at the same time, I'd say that no one is too big to fall. No one. And I don't really think that you can use your audience, and I'm talking about not lipstick lesbians in particular, I'm talking about some huge influencers. So when they're sharing their opinion, and in the way they're going against some people that are not happy with a launch, they're actually going against some audience or some people in the comment section that are not satisfied, that people felt like they were scammed for some promises that were given and the products that we're getting. I don't really think they're too big to fall, because sometimes their own audience can turn against them. And this is unfortunate, because when we were reading some comments under the video, my previous podcast, certain people, they immediately turned off from people that sold their channel, or the ads were not natural or like provocative. It's really hard to say something in order to expect maybe lipstick lesbians in the future to protect them if anything happens, any backlash. That is how the industry works. If you're saying something honestly, criticizing, and I believe like giving some valid criticism, such as Jen Love or Kiki, or even Brit Clark, some honest critique and honest opinion, and many other YouTubers, then you are in a blacklist of influencers that are not supporting other influencers, and you're not going to be supported in the future. But at the same time, on the other hand, you are talking about something that people care about. In the modern economy, when someone is asking $34 for like 4 or 5 grams of the product and asking you to participate in the potentially evolving product, and that you are investing your money in the development, and you have access, early access to the product before it hits the market, before they correct any flaws, well, it is considered to be normal, and you just have to shut up. We have to shut up. I believe we should do that, but will we? I don't really think so. And another real quick thing, I'm going to talk about the products. I do believe that $34 is a huge amount of money. But at the same time, when they posted the ingredient list, and that was a huge problem in my, like one of my podcasts, I talked about that when Jen Love was asking about the ingredient list, they were not clear about that. And now, for now, I can actually find a full ingredient list on their official website. And I used AI because I don't really understand most of this, let's say, words. And I asked AI to provide and give me information which of these products are the most expensive and which of these products are probably taking most of the money. And AI confirmed, Google AI confirmed some of these ingredients, they're pretty expensive. I'm going to give you all the ingredients on the screen so you can check them out, which ones are the most expensive. The reason why, because instead of using mica, sometimes they had to go with a synthetic product, which is quite expensive most of the time. I'm going to give you the table, which of these products contain some of the synthetic or not even synthetic minerals that are quite expensive. They're going from the highest price to the high to the low price, like natural mica or any other synthetics. We got some confirmation from AI that it can be expensive, but at the same time, I asked AI to get like $34 for 5 grams. Is it expensive? And when it broke down, the price point was 6.80, like approximately $6.80 dollars per gram. We're going to talk about the value breakdown. So the budget and affordable, typically any other brands such as Essence or ColourPop or Elf and many others, their retail price is $1 to $2.50 per 1 gram. If we're going to talk about standard high-end products, and most of them, they're like Sephora level brands, they go from $3 to $5 per 1 gram. If we're going to talk about luxury and premium prices, it's typically coming from $6 per gram. And the verdict that it's even higher than the luxury premium. Okay, luxury premium. And they don't really have a packaging whatsoever. So right now, what else is so interesting about this brand in particular is that they mentioned that Flexi powder is not a custom-made formula, and custom-made formulas most of the time are more expensive than any other brands or any other formulas that you purchased. So is it going to be more expensive? I don't know. I don't really think it's going to be more expensive. I believe they heard people that $34 is crazy. And while they're doing their refunds, they have to understand if there's going to be another product where people are going to ask for a refund, it's not going to survive. The company's not going to survive. I'm not saying this from a hateful place. I mean, I feel like if the second launch is going to be successful and it's going to be cheaper, they might be onto something. And as I believe they mentioned this, the next leak is going to be custom made. Let's real quick watch it.
There will be 2 types of leaks that happen in the leaked business model. Products that are discovered, like Amplify Flexi, and products that are developed, created, like our next leak. We can't wait for you to see the next 6 leaks.
Okay, so the next 6 leaks they're about to show us. Is it going to be subscription box? I feel like maybe it's going to be subscription box. They do actually offer the refund for our first release, Leak 1.0 Amplify Flexi Powder. We understand that the experience did not meet expectations for everyone. If you purchase Flexi and are not satisfied, we are offering refunds within 60 days of initial purchase. Please reach out to helloleaklabs.com with your order details to initiate the process. Here's another really interesting thing that they mentioned on their official website. Are the products safe? Yes, every formula is tested for safety and compliance. Experimental refers to release timing, not safety standards. What do you mean, release timing? So I guess they were in a hurry to release those leaks, and that is the main reason why they say it performance tested. The performance was tested, but what about the real performance details? Like, they knew that Flexi powders were not sanitized. You cannot sanitize them with alcohol, at least. So they're melting down. They knew about this bug. They knew about the bug about the ripping. I believe I understand what they meant, that it's going to hit the market earlier than like they have access to this formulas earlier than the rest of the market. But at the same time, again, are you going to be working with other brands and giving them information what products are working, which products are not working? So I don't know. We're about to see their Leak Labs 2.0 leak, where they're going to talk about probably some more emotional drama. I didn't feel right after this video. I felt like your comments are not valuable. You're saying some stupid things and you don't really understand what's going on and you're personally attacking them. And again, every single comment that I read, at least under my videos, They were not targeted on their appearance, on any of their like sexual orientation, on their like makeup, whatever, like none of it. Everything was related to their makeup brand. I don't know. It's weird. Guys, what do you think? I know it's been a long one. I'm actually a little bit tired. But I think that it was a necessity to give your commentary on every single video, to give you some proof on what was so expensive about this formula. And I do believe that probably most of these minerals, they were very expensive. But at the same time, were they necessary? I don't really think so. But I guess they're going to make some adjustments. We're not going to, try to speculate any further. Just, it is what it is. I'm showing you whatever I actually found. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next podcast. Bye-bye.